I'm back, and here is the second harness that I wanted to show you. This guy is obviously a lot less bulk going on because it's based off of another Arizona tea jug. I love upcycling, so it's all free if you drink that kind of stuff, which my husband loves it. So this particular one is, there's a couple of differences here. One, I've cut the Arizona tea jug 5 inches wide by 9 inches tall, just like the wooden piece. And if I was using this, I would also finish the back of this with a little bit of padding. This actually went on the outside of a corset, but in between the corset and a dress, so she didn't feel any of this stuff because the corset was in the way. We didn't need to pad it. But I would pad the back of this if you were putting it directly on your skin, just like the other one. A little bit of padding and a little bit of fleece. So the difference with this one here is that, as you can see here, I've used nuts instead of screws. I've used nuts and bolts. So we just did our standard, or some whatever screws I could find, or nuts and bolts I could find that fit within each other, that would sandwich this really thin piece together. Okay. Put the flatter side on the part that hits your back, so it's more comfortable, and then the side that pokes out on the side that is going to touch the dress that you're going to be you're wearing. I made this on the fly, actually, in a hotel room the night before our conference when she was going to wear it. The wooden one was too bulky, and we wanted something that could be hidden underneath her dress. So I happen to have all this stuff with me because I travel with crafty stuff. I know, I'm crazy. This is $1. This is like $1.25 piece of metal over in the hardware section, or not the hardware, but the bracket section for the wood in the lumber department at Lowe's and Michael, or Lowe's and Home Depot. And so it's only $1 or so, but it added the rigidity to the plastic, which is nice, even though it's not bolted down here at the top. The point is when it's up like this, the tail rotates up and down against the Chicago screw that goes in this hole right here. And the pressure when you pull it up is going to push on your back, and you want something rigid for it to support against your back to allow it less maneuvering and shifting. So it looks pretty ugly. I agree. It's definitely slash job, throw it together kind of deal. However, the cool thing about this one is, and I totally cut these incorrectly, like they're not even. But let me see if I can do this one-handed. Tristan, come here. That's Molson. Quickly. Hurry up, I'm recording, I need your help. So this is her leotard that she wore. And what we did here, I need you to help me find the holes and put the brackets in the holes.
It's
right here. There's one. There we go. You can see it coming out now. And then here's another one. So what we did is you put the harness on first, and then put your dress. That's fine. We got it. Thank you. Put the harness on first, and then you'd get dressed. And if you feel comfortable poking these kind of holes in your outfit, this is a leotard my daughter's about to grow out of, so we really didn't care. She's used it now for a year and a half for this particular costume. So this particular fabric doesn't fray. If it was going to fray on the inside, I'd put a piece of felt and just glue it down. And that way you're cutting through the felt and the fabric, and then that helps support the slit from like fraying and raveling even higher. But what this does is it allows only this to hang out of the back side of the person wearing it, at which point it hides all the ugly stuff pretty much. And then the tail can function off of this. Now you still have the wire mechanism and the Chicago screw and the little bit of the harness there showing. So what I've done is, I'm not going to show this in any other tutorial because it's not in part of the original things, but I'll show it here, is I've created this, let me untie it. Sorry, I'm all one-handed right now. I know I should do this more professionally and get a tripod. Okay, sorry. So I would take this piece right here that I'm going to show you, and I would safety pin it right along the top above this harness, and it helps hide everything. So this is the back that I made for the adult, and it has some flowers and bows and ribbons at the top, and then all kinds of feathers that go from a regular feather shape, and then it blends into a tiny peacock shape at the end. Now all this, if you were to see it hanging together, would totally hide the base of the tail with all the netting and all the wires and the harness parts that are sticking out of the leotard here. Just with a simple safety pin and this little overlay, okay? Now the overlay, the feathers really aren't that expensive. I think it was maybe another $20 or $15 in feathers. And then this kind of, stuff, I'm actually a big crafter person myself, so I happen to have a lot of that on hand just to glue on. And I literally just glued all of these feathers on to a piece of 8.5 by 11 felt. So the felt I had on hand happened to be a glitter felt, no particular reason, you don't need that. Just a black color or a dark color would be great. And then we had these little tabs here to use, we were going to use to help tie the things. We wound up not using them, so you can ignore them. But one of the things they do show is where this is all kind of folded in to the top here, kind of over itself a little bit. And of course I've cut the edges to curve. And this is just a standard 8.5 by 11 sheet of felt, something you can get for like 50 cents to $1 at the craft store. And just folding these top pieces over and over to give it more stability to stick out further this way off of the back to cover, so that there's like, it creates almost like a pocket underneath there, or like a place for the harness to hide kind of deal when it is secured into the back with the safety pin. That's really all it is. Then when the tail fans upwards, all it does is it pushes it up like this, but so it's nice and soft on your back, but the tail actually just pushes it upwards, and then the gravity, when the tail's released, the gravity lets it go back down and it covers everything back up. And it's all just hinged off of a large safety pin, again, that attaches to the back. So this one's definitely a little bit more hidden, a little bit more elegant looking, and a little bit cheaper because you don't have to buy the wood, which is nice, and that's only if you drink Arizona tea jugs. If you have to buy an extra one to make this, then it's not any cheaper. So it's pretty much the same concept though. You're just sandwiching the elastic in between the back and the brackets, and then you're just screwing in the brackets in 4 different positions with nuts and bolts instead of screws. And so it's definitely a much thinner option, and it's not any lighter weight because of the metal, maybe a little bit, but it's not too bad. Neither one of them are extremely heavy. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have. If you have any questions, again, post below. I hope I've answered some questions for you, and now that you can see things kind of how they're built in 3D almost, or whatever. Again, this is the Chicago screw holes right here. So the screw bolt, Chicago screw, will go straight through here. You'll put it in one hole, then you'll thread all your loops of wire onto it, and then you'll put it out the other hole and screw in the side panel, the side screw. And then the loops will just function really loosely, coming up and down, depending on if you pull against gravity or if you release and you let gravity fall, and then it folds back up. So it's kind of a very simple concept. It's just figuring out how to make these harnesses that's a little bit more difficult. So I hope you have questions, and I hope I have answers. I'm sure there's a better way to do this. I am not an engineer. I am a crafter and artist and costume maker, and I only make costumes for my friends and family. So not a professional, but definitely I think I kind of got some cool engineering ideas on how to make everything function. So I know this is 10 minutes long. I hope you have a wonderful day. Leave some comments. Talk to you later. This is Grace. Bye.